Do you feel ignored in group environments? Because I certainly felt like that when I was a younger lad. I would feel like any of my inputs were just not really valued very highly by my compatriots. I'd feel that whenever I sort of inputted anything into the group conversation, it just went unheard. And over enough time, this really made me feel very inadequate and also just uninteresting. Like, wow, every single time I try to put a new idea forward or to add on to someone's thought in any sort of conversation, it just goes ignored. Do I really not have anything interesting to add ever? Well, there's two reasons why you might feel that way. One reason is that you're just hanging around the wrong types of people. I don't know if you guys can hear the bugs outside, by the way, but like, wow, they're going crazy right now. It's incredible how loud these bugs can get, honestly. Like, I'm gonna put a video on screen real quick. Like, listen to that. Insane from some tiny bugs. Anyway, there's two reasons why this could happen, guys. One is that you're just hanging around with the wrong people, honestly. Like, yeah, no shit, you don't have anything interesting or valuable to add to the discussion about Kim Kardashian because you don't give a fuck about Kim Kardashian. You care about personal growth, business, maintaining valuable relationships. You don't care about gossiping about Kim K. So don't get that twisted. If your friends are talking about boring shit and you feel like you don't have anything interesting to add, that's totally natural. But also the other reason, which I'm going to focus on this video, because honestly, the solution to hanging out with boring people is quite uninteresting. It's literally just like, bro, make some new friends. But the second reason is that you're genuinely not that interesting, maybe. Good news is, if your friends are boring, if you become a more interesting, more valuable person, you're just gonna make more friends anyway. So this video applies either way. But there was a certain turning point for me where I started to feel like my opinions were valued in these sort of group environments. And I keep highlighting group environments because that is mainly where this is highlighted. When I'm talking one-to-one with someone, they're more obliged to just listen to me, even if they don't find what I'm saying that engaging. But in group environments, people are far less subtle with, like, you know, who they're interested in talking with. But it really was a turning point for me, and that was simply when I started to actually provide value into the marketplace, which sounds kind of ridiculous. Like, Sam, how the fuck would you providing value into the marketplace have anything to do with your group dynamic? Well, before, I didn't really have any job, I didn't really have any interests. Now I do have an interest, and it's a skill which I've mastered, which is something to talk about on its own. But not only that, it makes me money, which provides me the freedom to be able to actually experience more of life. So I have more stories to tell, more insights. And it was actually at this point where I started to realize that I do have interesting things to say. I always had interesting things to say. I always had it. It's just that I hadn't unlocked the ability to talk about them. Whether that was, once again, because I was trying to speak with the wrong people, or it was a bunch of limiting beliefs I had. It was probably a good mixture of both. They complement each other quite nicely. But either way, I always had interesting shit to say. And you watching this, I guarantee you have interesting shit to say as well. I guarantee you. But for me, I unlocked this ability by simply just becoming a more valuable person to the marketplace. And once you become a more valuable person to the marketplace, this is your gateway into many different pillars of personal development. If you're making money through a skill, you can network with other people who are doing something similar. You can make friends. You can make money, which provides you the ability to experience more of life. You become valuable to certain people, and you also develop character, because it takes a lot of sacrifice and skill to develop a skill. If you're sat like a potato, like I used to be, and just playing video games for 12 hours a day, yeah, you're not going to be very interesting, because literally anyone could do that. Character's developed when you choose to do things which you don't necessarily want to do, and that makes you an interesting person. Like, if you look at any person that you look up to, any person who interests you, they have a story and they've done things which you wish to achieve yourself. For example, people who fight. We all look up to people who fight because that is like the ultimate sacrifice. You're going into a ring and it's do or fucking die. That gains an immediate subconscious level of respect towards that person who's willing to do that. And the same applies for when someone is actually developing something of their own, developing a skill, developing some sort of character trait. These things build innate respect towards one another, and it's not even to do with money, actually. You can just character develop and gain someone's respect. I met a guy here in Thailand who, he spent like a month here. He's not dialed in necessarily in terms of like business. He doesn't quite know what he wants to do yet, but he's investing all of his time and energy and money into just experiencing as much life as humanly possible, so that when he does get that idea as to what he wants to do, he's ready already. And this was one of the most charismatic guys I've ever met as well. His name's Jerome, and he works as a bartender. It's nothing flashy or anything like that, but I fucking like Jerome. You don't have to be a fucking multi-millionaire to be an interesting person. You just need to throw yourself into the deep end and just experience more of life. In my opinion, though, the easiest way to achieve being an interesting person is simply just mastering that skill. And then from there, you gain enough leverage to master everything else. You master your social skills, your body, your spirituality. And then once you've done that, you're in such a positive feedback loop and you're constantly learning from other interesting people. You're spending far less time with the uninteresting people talking about Kim Kardashian, and you're spending a lot more time with a bunch of dudes who are also developing themselves and developing their own skills and their own businesses and their own relationships. And that is far more interesting, and you're going to gain far more stories from hanging out with interesting people, unlike these bozos over here. If I were you, here's exactly what I would do. Very simply put, master a skill and bonus points if it can make you money. Okay, master it. You can choose whatever skill you want. I chose video editing, and that proved to be very, very successful for me, and it was my pathway to financial and location freedom. I entered highly valuable networks with all of your favorite influencers, and it's allowed me to grow and flourish in all other areas of my life as well, because I've learned directly from all of these other different people who perhaps I'm video editing for, or I'm offering advice on their personal brands. And it was a fucking excellent pathway, and I now teach that to over 500 of my students inside of my Academy of Excellence. Check the link in the description if that sounds interesting to you. But either way, choose a skill. Bonus if it's monetizable, because we all like money, right? And then you want to just mix with other people who are also mastering that skill or have already mastered that skill. A lot of people, they have this scarcity mindset around like, oh no, I can't mix with these guys because they're my competition and I can't provide value to them because then they'll kill me, and the competition is bullshit. There's plenty of losers for you to stomp together as a unit, right? You don't have to be lone wolfing this shit. You can actually learn from one another and grow together, and that's insanely valuable. And that's going to be such a valuable relationship in your life. Then you want to use your skill to infiltrate networks of other interesting people. Like I say, video editing is perfect because nearly every business has content production in common. They're all producing content nowadays. If I can position myself as a good video editor for any business, I can then learn vicariously through them by just providing them the value of my video editing expertise. It's a fucking perfect pathway into highly valuable networks and big money. So you can use your skill to make more interesting, valuable friends. And then once you're good enough, monetize the skill, travel the world with it, make money from your laptop, and continue gathering stories. Climb down waterfalls in Thailand, climb a mountain in Africa, go island hopping in the Philippines. Whatever it may be, there's plenty of stories to be told there. That's going to make you an interesting person, and it all starts with you and the innate value that you offer to the market and to any social situation. But just bear in mind as well, like, you're not going to be interesting to everyone. This is a guide on how to be interesting to the right people, the people who are on a similar pathway to you. Your friends talking about League of Legends and Kim Kardashian and all that bullshit, and they're probably going to mock you because you're doing much better than them, and people do not like that. So bear that in mind. Once you start winning, you'll truly start to see people's true colors. I hope this video is helpful. I've already mentioned my academy, but if that interests you, I can teach you how to make money online from the comfort of your bedroom or traveling the world with your laptop. You can join over 500 of my students. As you can see by the results here, we're getting good ass results. Take care, boys.